The Colts versus the Raiders. All right. The Colts versus the Raiders. This is a must-needed win for both teams. All right. Who needs to win this more? Is it the Colts or the Raiders? And I'm gonna kick this one off. It's clearly the Raiders to me. It's the Raiders. First of all, if they lose this game, they should consider moving on from Josh McDaniels. Straight up. All right. Because first, I'm looking at Derek Carr. I'm like, I had high praises for Derek Carr coming into the season, right?
Yeah, he was your MVP coming in.
Yeah, he was, right? Thanks for reminding everybody that's watching. So I'm gonna do that for the rest of the season. So Derek Carr, I'm thinking, okay, Derek Carr, I'm watching the games. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is this thing not working? And I thought about it. I'm like, Derek Carr had less weapons last year, a worse situation last year. John Gruden getting fired, teammate crashing, killing somebody, going to jail. I mean, Waller in and out the lineup, all that stuff. And then I'm like, okay, maybe it's not Derek Carr. Maybe it's a little Derek Carr, but maybe it's mainly Josh McDaniels. All right. And also, I realized they haven't really played a lot of games with their big four, you should say. Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfro, and Darren Waller. They haven't really played together. But that's not an excuse because you still got Devontae Adams he's been there every game, and Josh Jacobs. So it's not an excuse. So you're going against a coach team with a second-year quarterback who hasn't won a game yet. You're going against a team that has an injured Jonathan Taylor, right? They're Shaq Barrett, right? Is it Shaq Barrett? What's his name? For the Colts, the linebacker. I think he's hurt.
Oh, Shaq.
Shaquille.
Yeah, Shaq Leonard is out.
Yeah, Shaq Leonard. I said Shaq Barrett. Shaq Leonard is out. All right, so he's out. I try to tell you. And on top of that, Jeff Saturday is the head coach. So when you lose to this team, Josh McDaniels, the Raiders should consider moving on from you. This is the game of your life. If you don't win this game, just go back to New England because they definitely need you there. All right, so let's go back to New England. So I think definitely 100% the Raiders need this win.
I agree 100%. That's absolutely where I was going with this. I looked at both teams. I was like, well, what team is healthier? And what team really needs more? I mean, the Raiders have the better roster up and down. If you look at the roster, the Raiders have the better roster. I understand Darren Waller has been out, like you said, and Hunter Renfro has been in and out of the lineup, so I get it. But you got Devontae Adams. We were talking
Yeah.
about him if he was the top receiver in the league, and I still think he's at least top five, and he
Right.
don't look like it right now because the offense just looks terrible. So I mean, Josh McDaniels? You need to do something, my man. I mean, they may give you another year, but you got to be on the hot seat. I'm sorry, this is a team that went to the playoffs last year, and they look terrible right now.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they're not anywhere close to making it to the playoffs. They look they may end up last in their division, honestly. So, and no one thought that the Raiders were going to be last in division, at least from what I remember. I don't think any of us have chose the Raiders to be last in the division. I think more than likely it may have been the Chargers, and the Chargers are what 5-3.
Yeah. They
So,
5-3, man.
and then I mean the Broncos, they up and down. They got Russell Wilson, but their defense is still great. So I mean they still got to rely on that. You can't say that about You can't say that about the Las Vegas Raiders because their defense is not top 10. Their offense is not top 10. So something got to give. So Josh McDaniels, you better figure something out, my boy, or you might be gone after next season. Because I don't think
Mhm.
they're gonna fire you after the season, but next season if they still look the same, you might be gone.
Yeah, man. They gave up 3 17-point leads this year so far. So, coach,
Isn't that only them and the Raiders that gave up double-digit leads, multiple double-digit leads this year?
yeah, probably, yep.
And Ravens
Multiple, yep.
and the Ravens have a winning record, but the Raiders don't.
Yeah, the Raiders, man, they only got 2 wins a year. So it's like,
That's terrible.
yeah, they're looking at the Lakers right now. All right. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, And also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.